Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/choosingbeggars. So sit back, relax and enjoy some funny Reddit stories. Guy comes to buy my Roomba, doesn't bring money for Roomba. Happened to me a few months ago and only just remembered. I was selling a Roomba robot vacuum cleaner online for $50. I never used it anymore and a small bit was broken, but easily fixed. Spoke to a bloke about it and he agreed to come by and take a look at it, agreeing on the price of $50. He arrives, hour or so later than he said he would. I start showing him the Roomba. He makes some complaints about the general wear and tear on it, etc. I explain I bought it for over $500 less than a year prior. It works well, $50 is a steal. He then pulls $30 out of his pocket and offers that first. I decline and tell him I'm firm on $50. He gets upset and says how it's all he brought with him, and he had to drive 30 minutes to get here. I tell him there was an ATM nearby so he can go pull out the rest of the cash if he's interested, or do a bank transfer. He then says he might have change in his car, so after 10 minutes of rummaging, he comes back with an extra $3 or $4 in change. I still wouldn't budge, so he drives off in a huff. Managed to sell it easily for asking price the next day. Who doesn't bring the full amount of cash thinking that I'll just take that? Jeez. I'm seeing a lot of people saying this is like a slimy, well-known tactic to do, but if anyone did that to me, I'd just be like, no, you've done this wrong, just exactly how this guy handled it. Surely that's what most people would do. I applied for a janitorial job for a large apartment complex. The interview was a group interview, which I thought was weird, but whatever. I needed a job and some extra cash while I was finishing up my degree. The interviewers went on and on about the goal-oriented and the top-level characteristics people needed to have to excel at this open position. They even said something along the lines of, "The people we decide to go with will be lucky to be a part of this team." I sat quietly during the entire group interview, which was basically them stating they would only consider the best people for the job. It was cleaning up, vacuuming, picking up trash, washing windows type of job. To be honest, it was kind of a joke. They made it sound so special and proud to be chosen. Then, someone asked a question about buying equipment and supplies. I immediately thought that that guy was an idiot for asking who would be responsible for buying it. Obviously, I thought that would be provided by the apartment complex, since they were hiring janitors. Oh man, was I wrong. They let it slip that they would not be providing any of the cleaning supplies or vacuums or anything. All that cost was supposed to be picked up by the specially chosen employee, without reimbursement. I walked out of that room at that point. They ended up calling me for the job 3 times. I had to explain each time that I wasn't picking up the bill to buy cleaning supplies for a minimum wage position. No thanks and good luck finding a sap to work for you. Edit, this happened about 5 years ago when I was still in college and was looking for some extra cash. All is good now, just thought this story belonged here, so I shared it with you guys. That has probably got to be the worst job opportunity I've ever heard of. What? Wants free delivery of free firewood. Okay, this happened decades ago, in the early 1990s, but when I started reading this Reddit, it leaped to mind. We just bought our first house. It had a fireplace, one that we didn't think we'd use. There was a cord, a stack that's 4 feet wide, 4 feet high, and 8 feet long, worth about $75 at the time. Now it's a lot more. Of nice firewood stacked alongside the house. Since we weren't going to use it, it was kind of in the way. This being pre-internet, I took out an ad in a local newspaper called The Nickel. It cost me maybe $2. The ad said, 1 cord of nice older firewood, split and stacked. It's in real good shape, but I won't use it. Free to the first person who wants it. Okay, so I get a phone call. The caller wants to know if I'll hold the firewood until the end of the week, several days. I tell him that no, I can't do that. It needs to be gone ASAP. If he comes by the end of the week and I still have it, sure, he can have it. But if someone beats him to it, well, that's how it goes with free stuff. So he asks if I can deliver it for free. What? I'm gonna spend hours and bust my butt loading up a whole cord of firewood and deliver it? For nothing? To some total stranger? No. Happy ending though. 10 minutes later, a guy calls and wants to know if it's available. I tell him it is. He comes over in a battered little pickup truck along with his little son. He was ecstatic, very happy to get enough firewood to keep his house warm in the winter for at least a month. And while he loaded up his truck, his little boy and my son played together. He thanked me profusely. It was very clear to me that money was very tight for this guy, and that getting the free firewood actually made a difference for him. Oh, why can't all of these Choosing Beggars stories have an ending like that? That was so good, and I'm so glad the guy didn't deliver it, or even that guy picked it up, because that guy definitely needed it more than him. How to turn 4 free donuts into 0. So this happened a great many years ago at my very first job. I worked drive-thru at Krispy Kreme Donuts. Our store had just opened and was the second in the state, so we were busy with lines out of the door from day one. For those who don't know, Krispy Kreme's big draw is the hot light. When the neon orange sign is on, you can come in and get a free original style donut. No purchase required. The first month we were open, the hot light was almost always on. In the first week, management started to notice scammers. They would come inside for a free donut, and then go through our drive-thru and get another, usually without making any purchases. It happened enough to be a real problem, so we solved it by only giving out free donuts if you came inside. We put a sign up in front of the drive-thru saying to come inside for your free donuts, so that no one got any unhappy surprises after waiting in a long line. This didn't stop people from trying to get a free one through the drive-thru. Our boss allowed us to make minor exceptions at our discretion. If someone made a gigantic order or was handicapped, etc., we would still give a donut if they asked. One day, a minivan came through and ordered 1 or 2 donuts. They came up asking for their free ones as well. Sorry, but our policy is that you must come inside for the free donuts. Please, we don't want to have to get our kids out of the car. They shifted in their seats, and sure enough, there were 2 small children in car seats. I decided to make the exception for them and grabbed 4 hot donuts. The Choosing Beggars beamed, the kids were happy, and then they ruined it. Actually, we have 5 more kids at home. Can we get donuts for them too? No, I can't give away donuts to people that aren't here. I don't even have to give you these ones, but I wanted to be nice. The Choosing Beggars now scowling, we want to speak to the manager about this. I shrugged and was happy to let someone else deal with these people so I could get back to my increasingly long drive-thru line. I tell the manager exactly what was going on. He came over to talk to them. I'm sorry, there seems to be a misunderstanding here. Choosing Beggars smile smugly at me. As per policy, we do not give any free donuts out in the drive-thru. You are welcome to come inside and we will give one to each person that is present. Manager took the hot donuts still in my hands and put them back on the line, shut the window on the choosing beggars and walked away. He was as sick of beggars as the rest of us. Choosing beggars flipped me off and drived away angrily. Needless to say, they didn't come inside for their freebie. I've got to say, that is a good manager right there. Choosing beggar wants a nanny and professional tutor for her kids, expects to pay pennies. I'm a teacher, and because my salary is laughable, I often look for extra work in the summer. When I lived near my parents, they used to hand out my number to their suburban neighbors, and I'd get sweet babysitting gigs that way. One woman asked me to stop by her house. Usually this is to chat a bit about expectations, schedules, see if personalities are a good fit. She seemed uptight, so I even offered a CV/references beforehand, but she refused. Red flag immediately, as I realized I walked into a serious job interview, where her kids had their iPads on their laps with pre-written questions that they had supposedly come up with themselves. After that weirdness, she explains she needs a nanny for 20 to 25 hours a week for 2 kids and an infant, $200 a week with no gas money. She also wanted me to do a full day trial for free. So less than $10 an hour. I didn't want to burn bridges in suburbia, so I politely declined, lying that my availability doesn't suit the hours. 2 days later, she texts me the following. Hi OP, I need a math tutor for my 10 and 7-year-old. I figured you're a certified teacher, so you'd love this opportunity. They need a review on last year's material and instruction on next year's, so they're ahead. I'm not certified in math, so I figure I'll charge her the rate I charged back in high school. In my speciality, I can get $40 to $60. My rate is $25 an hour. Are you out of your freaking mind? I just need someone to sit with them while they do work bucklers. Lol, okay, bye. Last I heard, she offered the neighbor's 12-year-old $5 an hour for tutoring. Kid said no. Good for her. Well, if both of your kids have iPads on their laps that you probably bought for them, then you can probably afford the tutoring if you really want it. Not the pool she wanted. This happened last weekend. I live in Mexico and it is really hot, like 36 to 38 degrees. And my sister-in-law asked me and my husband if we could buy her children an inflatable pool, so they could play and refresh a little. She is a single mother, so obviously my husband said yes, and we went to buy it. We bought a small pool with some decorations and an inflatable slide. We went to her home and gave it to her. The kids were really excited and asked her mum if she could set it for them. She did, and while the kids were playing, we went inside to talk and take refreshments. And then she said, "That pool is way smaller than what I wanted." My husband and I shared a look. I was expecting something like this. And she took a Sam's Club magazine with the image of a huge pool where adults could swim too, with a price of approximately $400 US. Expensive in Mexico. You said you wanted a pool for the kids, not for you. Yeah, but I wanted to swim too. It is really hot. Can't you return that one and buy this one? No, we can't. You already opened it and we bought it for our nephews, not for you. And if you don't like it, give it to someone who can appreciate a gift. You are being rude. You know I can't afford it. You don't have kids. You can buy it for me. But it seems that you don't love your sister. I do love you, and I don't like the way you are trying to guilt trip me. He grabbed my hand and said goodbyes to the kids and we left. He was gloomy all the way home. I really hate seeing him like that. She hasn't talked to him since then and doesn't answer his calls. What awful logic. Oh, because you don't have kids, you have to spend your money on my kids. Like, be thankful that they bought you the pool in the first place. My price was generous enough. Why would I take an adult dollar? Graphing calculator, $60. I can pay $20. I can't take $20, sorry. Really? Why not? What can we do? Because it's worth nearly $120 new, and I can't bring the price down that low. I can do $55. Dang, it's just sitting there though. Why not just take $20 and have cash to spend? Because it's worth more than $20. I'm sure you know that. $20 is like one adult dollar. I've got to say that is probably the truthiest truth I've ever heard. Wants food but turns down free food. $0 to $10. Hello, I am asking for $10 to make sure I can get something to eat. I haven't eaten at all. I can only accept Cash App since Facebook Pay is linked to my account and I won't be able to use it that way. Thank you all. Subway is still doing the free $6 promotion. Download the app and make a new account. 30 minutes later, reopen it and you'll have a $6 reward. Thanks, but I'm not interested. I don't really care for Subway subs. What? I mean, Subway isn't my personal favorite, but if it's a free $6 sub, then yeah, I'm gonna have it. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.